Another day, another story. Brought to you by Books for Success. Welcome to our channel. Today, we're exploring Russell Brand's transformative book, Recovery: Freedom from Our Addictions. Join us as we uncover the 12-step program that guides us toward overcoming addiction and finding genuine liberation. Anyone can improve their life if they are ready to do the work. Russell Brand realized that he had become addicted to many things: alcohol, food, eBay, and even coffee. When he finally sought help, he discovered a 12-step routine guaranteeing addiction recovery. This summary focuses on those 12 steps. Change requires work, and it can be painful to execute because you must sacrifice many habits you are used to. But the results are always life-changing. If you keep postponing your recovery, you'll never get anything done. The 12-step program is effective because it understands that the instinct that drives humans' compulsiveness is universal. So, keep watching if you want to change your life and overcome your addictions. Admitting the truth about your addiction is the best way to begin your recovery. The first step is to admit that you're powerless over your addiction. Most people find this problematic because part of us wants to change a negative, while that part wants to hold on to it. Recovery is a journey from a lack of awareness to awareness. Russell Brand was a standard drug addict and alcoholic. He thought it was dumb. Later, a seriously committed atheist introduced him to the 12 steps because he became desperate and broken. Here is a clinical breakdown of the cycle of addiction. 1. Pain. 2. Using an addictive agent, like alcohol, food, sex, work, or dependent relationships, to soothe and distract. 3. Temporary distraction. 4. Consequences. 5. Shame and guilt leading to pain or low self-esteem. If you have an addiction, this is the cycle it follows. You know there's a likelihood that you have an addiction problem if there's an activity that impairs your performance and ability to enjoy life. If you are unsure of what is wrong, take the time to sit in a quiet place and practice your breathing. Take deep breaths and examine how you feel. Are you sad or anxious? Then, you need to ask yourself if you are happy. You'll be able to answer the question in stillness and calm breathing. Ask yourself what you want to change, the fear you associate with the change, and the costs and benefits of the change. The second step is to believe in the ability of a greater power to restore your sanity. This step is about hope. You've just admitted you have a problem and that your life has become unmanageable. This admission will come as a blow to your ego. However, you need hope that you can change, hope that there is another way. There will be lots of mistakes and setbacks. Change is hard, and that's why you can't do it alone. Take deep breaths and try to be kind to yourself. One day at a time, you can get over your addiction. You need a lot of self-compassion, which is neither stagnant nor permissive. Power is the ability to effect change. You don't have enough power to change on your own, so you need access to a power that exceeds that. Sometimes, the greater power you need to believe in is the 12-step program. It can also be nature or a belief in God. Whatever it is, you must understand that you are not alone in your journey. Did you know? Feeling hopeless is often the first thing revealed when the primary addictive behavior is challenged or arrested. When many other options fail, God can be an enormous help. Accepting God is acknowledging your failure through previous attempts to change your life. This is the third step. Ask yourself if you are happy, sad, or feeling a low sense of self-worth. If the answer to these questions is yes, you are stuck in a cycle. You should identify discomfort in these areas. 1. Pride, what you think others should think about you. 2. Self-esteem, what you feel about yourself. 3. Personal relations, how you interact with others. 4. Ambitions, your dreams and goals. 5. Security, what you need to survive. 6. Finances, how much money you have and how it affects your feelings. Take the time to examine yourself based on those criteria and see how you score. You need to give up control to God and be ready to listen to whatever changes He wants you to make. In this step, you concede mentally and spiritually that you cannot do this alone. For Brand, this step was the beginning of humility. To say, "I need help," is not easy for many people. Many prefer manipulating people into meeting their needs or struggling with them. Step 4 involves making an inventory of every single thing in your life. Include all the details you are ashamed of or scared to share with others for fear of judgment. This fourth step is for illumination. It has to be thorough, but it needn't be repetitive. Following this process, you take stock of all the beliefs and resentments that populate your conscious experience. According to Russell Brand, his former belief that he needed to sleep with a lot of women when scrutinized could pose as culturally acceptable, cool, fun, aspirational, and harmless. Once thoroughly inventoried, this behavior was exposed as desperate, pitiful, toxic, and lonely. The behavior had been designed or adopted as a strategy to prevent pain. Most people can't be made to make a personal inventory. Everyone's analysis of themselves, their psyche, and their various attachments and consequences are subjective. That is why this process should be undertaken with the guidance and experience of a mentor. Ask yourself where you made a mistake, where you've been selfish, dishonest, afraid, and at fault. These questions should be asked for every addiction problem. They'll facilitate an honest conversation that'll propel your healing process forward. Sharing your journey with trustworthy people can prevent you from making grave mistakes. The fifth step involves sharing the inventory you made in step 4 with at least one person, someone who will guide you on your journey. It is this confession that will help reconstruct your perspectives of these events. At this stage, ask yourself if you are honest in your inventory. You also need to determine if you are clear about your motives for behaving in a certain way. Next, you should try to confirm that you are ready to take responsibility for your wrongs. There is power in recognizing your flaws and admitting the truth to yourself. Once you acknowledge your weaknesses, nobody can hold them against you because you are self-aware. Step 6 is about healing. You have to believe that God will delete all your character defects. As a rule, most character defects result from an unhealthy expression of and experience of many basic human needs. It's not as if those actions are bad in themselves. For example, alcohol and a person's sexuality are not wrong unless your experiences of those drives are not balanced or codependent. Your sixth step's prayers should not be, "Make me sober," or "Remove my sexual organs." Instead, you might pray, "Help me consume alcohol in a more healthy way," or "Grant me a healthy expression of my sexuality." Having identified your defects through your inventory, you decide whether to continue operating within these patterns or to transcend them. For each weakness you identify, ask yourself why and what you hope to achieve when you stop doing them. If you find that you are not ready to let go, ask yourself what the reason might be. The truth is that defective behaviors can seem like a good escape, but they only hide the real problems a person is experiencing. Before we continue, remember to like this video and subscribe. Help us to grow this channel. Comment if you have suggestions about new books you'd like us to summarize in less than 20 minutes. The past might have been terrible, but God can remove all the shortcomings. The seventh step is about humility and accepting the limits surrounding your life. It is also about hope and embracing the future that is to come. It is almost impossible to achieve much if you constantly believe that you do not need any help. Humility does not mean you have no value. You are infinitely valuable since you are part of the infinite. Humility means that you can humbly request help from God and man. You can say this prayer to surrender yourself to God and ask for help. "My Creator, I am now willing that you should have all of me, good and bad. I now pray that you remove every character defect between me and my usefulness to you and my fellows. Grant me strength as I leave here to do your bidding." This prayer shows that you admit your weakness and are ready to surrender everything to God. If you do not believe in God or the first prayer is uncomfortable, you can say, "I don't know if there is a supreme being out there in the limitless cosmos. I don't think there is. I know that my thinking is limited as it takes place within the context of my knowledge, which is bounded on all sides by ignorance. I am open to the possibility that beneath my thoughts, feelings, and the invisible field that holds together my material being are other forces that are likely beyond human comprehension and the dualistic models and space-time framework through which we understand reality. Within this limitlessness, all is possible. As a limited entity, I petition with my awakening, personal consciousness that is beyond limits and contains all creativity, joy, and beauty. I ask that my life and consciousness can be used as a vessel for these positive powers. You must make a list of their names and offenses. Don't think about what making amends is like or whether you are willing to make them during compilation. If you do that, it disrupts the process. If you envisaged making amends while making a list, you would omit people from the list. It is an elegant piece of construction, and you must abide by it. You must be ready to give and receive forgiveness, as well. The 8th and 9th steps involve preparing and apologizing to everyone affected by your mistakes. Restitution is part of this process, and the key is change. Since you have acknowledged your faults, you need to move forward. But you can't make any progress if your past is filled with all the sadness you've caused others. For the 8th step, List all the people you hurt and ensure you want to make amends to them. You don't want to do this grudgingly or hesitantly. For your healing to be complete, your apology needs to be sincere. For the 9th step, you have to apologize to them and make amends. Come up with creative solutions and hold nothing back. It's not enough to follow a few steps. You need to maintain your recovery. The remaining steps are known as maintenance steps. These steps require a daily commitment. The 10th step involves taking personal inventory and admitting your mistakes. This step requires you to be fully aware of yourself and your goals. The key is to identify the areas you may struggle with and then create an ideal that helps to counter that. If you are a hopeless codependent, you may need an idea that facilitates independence or self-sufficiency. This is why this program works. There is no doctrine. There is no guru. You are your teacher based on what you learn through admission, honesty, and confession. Whenever you do something wrong, acknowledge it and make a list. Also, share with someone who can help you reach your goal. Another maintenance step, step 11, is to remain connected to God. You can ask God to help you through prayer and meditation. You can say a prayer any way you know how. Ask for what you desire and humbly surrender yourself to God. The final step involves looking at life less selfishly and helping others. This summary has offered you many tips to share with others. Think of creative ways to give back to your community and do them. Once you help others, you can build a community that shares exceptional values and can keep you on track. Conclusion. The 12 recovery steps might seem like a lot, but if you follow them to the letter, you'll be on your way to recovery. As you try your best, remember to be patient with yourself. Those bad habits were not formed in a day and won't disappear in one day either. Give yourself some time. Summarizing the 12 steps are: 1. Admit you're powerless over your addiction. 2. Believe that a power greater than you can restore your sanity. 3. Decide to turn your life over to God's care. 4. Take a moral inventory of your life. 5. Admit to God and a trustworthy human being the nature of things. 6. Ask God to remove all defects of character. 7. Ask God to take away all shortcomings. 8. Make a list of all the people you've harmed and be willing to make amends. 9. Make direct amends to the people you harmed. 10. Continue to take personal inventory. 11. Pray, meditate, and ask God for help. 12. Help other addicts and people in your community. The 12-step program is not only for addicts but for anyone waiting for something. Whether it is a job, a raise, a husband, or a wife, we are all waiting for that one thing that keeps us from living our lives. You have only one life. Stop waiting and start living. Thank you for joining us on this transformative journey. Remember to like, subscribe, and share your thoughts in the comments below. Until next time, remember you can rewrite your story and live a life of genuine freedom.